This is High Vibe TV, the uncensored, guided, and community-based video TV network with content recorded and live streamed from the world-famous High Vibe TV studios. High Vibe TV delivers daily, weekly, and special programs focused on astrology, spirituality, history, community, and more. This is not your run-of-the-mill astrology and tarot. This is the future of spirituality, illuminating new ways the collective can step into the dawning of this exciting new dimension. The highest vibe is truth, and the truth always prevails. Download our awesome app on the Apple and Android stores so you don't miss our notifications, with special spiritual insights curated to the energy of the universe. Search for us on your TV with our exciting TV apps on Apple TV and Roku. Catch our vibe on your computer, where you can join in on the live chat with our amazing community and blog. Watch spirituality like you've never seen before. Download our apps or go to highvibe.tv. Subscribe now.
It's one of those transits where, boy, we've been talking about the ego and spirit. It just continues. And you know what? It's one of those things to where it becomes more harsh and more intense. Especially with Mercury coming into Aries and Mars being in Gemini still. The dispositor of that turns into Mars. And oh, shit! Mars and Mercury, oh yeah, even though they're not going to be squaring anymore, they're both dispositing each other in a way that's like, hey, all right, I can figure this shit out. I don't got Neptune anymore to deal with. I can fucking do what I want. And people's egos and people are going to change. You're going to see more changes in situations, people, than we've ever seen in so long in our life. Fast changes. You thought SVB Bank was a big change? Huh? This new moon's going to be just like, bam, 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 bam. And especially with all the war stuff going on, this new moon in Aries square Mars. Oh shit, with Mercury in Aries? Huh? Talk about explosions, talks about guns going off, talk about gunpowder, talk about ammunition. These are the things that these all rule. And especially the subconscious element, having to try and teach the Sun and Mercury before they both come into Aries, where they're both going to be like, I don't give a fuck anymore about you, I'm out. I'm ready for this new start. I'm ready for this new. But when you look at, I thought about this today when I was fucking blow drying my hair. I only blow dry it for probably about a minute. I don't have much hair. But in that minute, I was thinking about, oh, I usually feel this energy about spring and summer and the new energy of the new astrology. And I was going, shit, I'm going to be a fucking dad this summer. Not going to be the same old summer. Definitely around my birthday. Usually when I'm going out and doing shit, it's going to be around the time where it's like any minute I got to drive to the fucking hospital when she goes into labor. Where in your life are you already not like, are you starting to put together that this ain't going to be the same old reality you've always been through? Or are you not accepting it yet? You know, I would be a horrible person. You know what? There's a bunch of shitbag dads out there, I'm sure, that they get this far in the pregnancy. And maybe it's kids that are born in the summer or something, and then they start singing fucking Sam's fucking, what's his name? Fucking Sam fucking, I forgot his fucking name. But, you know, it used to be one of my favorite songs, Single in the Summer. And I could see how, you know, people might want to go do that kind of shit. Right? Like, you know, like, but I'm not that kind of person because I'm like, fuck no, I'm going to be on the soul. And that's where I'm going to be real with everybody here. You're going to have to make a sacrifice of an ego that is so big to pass through these gates. Your idea of how it should all look and what you want it to do. You're going to have to make a spiritual sacrifice, like I talked about on that One Deep Astrology 2 weeks ago. When I sat up here and I gave you the whole thing about all this Pisces energy and Saturn ingress in Pisces and how it's all about the service that's got you can't be selfish here. And that's the Lord, and that's the Lord of it, and Mars, I'm sorry, is in Gemini, and it's not that great, and Mercury's just quickly through Aries, and you gotta remember, like, Venus, that's another ruler with the North Node, but that's with Uranus, so again, your own values and starting to see what's actually good and what's actually going to feel good is only going to come, though, in the nice alignments that are happening with Saturn. We're going to see Venus sextile Saturn. We're going to start seeing these nodes in Saturn starting to align. Again, the only way that you're going to create anything good is the sacrifice of selfishness, that you have to sacrifice your selfishness. You're going to have to go into a selfless service role For me, I'm already seeing it. It's like, well, you know, can't race. Can't do this, can't do that. And I'm okay with that. But if you're coming into this going, I'm pumped up, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to make this happen, you will get fucked. I'm just telling you right now, you're going to get fucked. So I talked about reflection at the beginning of this deep astrology. The reflection through this week is going, where am I going to fuck myself over right now? Where am I not willing to detach my spiritual, well, really, it's more of your ego. Where am I not going to detach my ego? Because Jupiter's all pumped up now. Mars is going to be pumped up now. Mercury's going to be pumped up now. Oh, shit. New moon in Aries at the 0 point with another solar eclipse in Aries. But the hard lessons of Saturn and Neptune, which we haven't seen since 1523, that are hanging in the back. Now, I think it's really weird, too. I don't know if you know this. In 1523, it was Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces. In 1532, it was Pluto that ingressed into Aquarius. So we actually saw Saturn and Neptune come into Pisces, and then we had to wait all the way back then, another 9 years, until finally Pluto ingressed into Aquarius. Well, we're getting both those transits at the same time in the same month. So, it's not like you get to wait a decade to figure it out like they got back in the Renaissance period. You know, you're going to have to make some sacrifices here of your ego that you know, it's not going to look exactly the way you want it to look. The more you believe that, the more that you think that, the more that you value that, because I think that that's the weirdest part is, yes, Venus is coming into Taurus, but there's Uranus there in the North Node. And so Venus, even though it's the ruler, the North Node always trumps everything. That's because it serves to the pleasure of the sun and the moon, and so it defines where the eclipses are going to be, which eclipse over the planets. The sun and the moon are not planets. And the rulers of the whole zodiac, the king and the queen. So it's one of those moments here where we got to pay attention here and not get too caught up in our own values in an ego sense. And especially when you start hearing the manifestation. What am I manifesting? I'm going to manifest it in this way. It's like, is it coming from the soul or is it coming from the ego or your self-worth in a weird way? Also, any pipe dream that's been going on that is not connected with your soul this week is going to come into its craziness. You know, the big spin washer, like I said, that's happening, it's drenched with spiritual energy to kill weeds. And it will be thrown into a dryer with no heat, and it will just be drying in the air. And we'll see what's flimsy, what's not, what holds its color, what doesn't, what was made in China and cheap, what relationships really are real, which ones aren't. You know, you can't take one part of a transit and then separate it from everything else. It all is together, and no matter what we do, it's unfortunately the year that we don't really want to have to go through, you know, but we're going to have to go through it, where there's a dark moon in Pisces as the sun makes its 0 degree ingress into Aries. It's not a new moon at the 0 point. It's a 0 point Aries sun, moon, Pisces. It's Venus squaring Pluto, but sextiling Saturn. It's the node starting to square Pluto and sextile Saturn. It's Mars and the sun in square. It's not going to be. There's going to be a soul and a subconscious stuff. Like, this is where you can prepare yourself now to make sure that your spiritual journey over the next couple years won't go into a shit show. It has nothing to do about money and the financial system and the elites and what's going to happen over here. It has everything to do with you and your ego. It has everything to do with you and even your values, and to see if they're really rising up. One thing I can tell you about Taurus, things are always nicer. That's the one thing that people when you get a lot of money, you do realize there's always a nicer thing. The earth always creates a much more beautiful place, a much more beautiful thing, a more beautiful product, a more beautiful that. And life's not about that. But I'm just saying that that's true. Have you really got to the place to where you could see that this will constantly raise you higher? And that's going to bring up relationships, to all your values, all the things that you do. You can't get stuck in Taurus on the same place or it goes rotten. That's what Scorpio helps with, right? So it's one of those things to where it's like, what's bringing you to where you just see it constantly, that it could go much beautiful and better? Anything that hasn't continued that process was really just old lunch meat that's gone stale.
This is High Vibe TV, the uncensored, guided, and community-based video TV network with content recorded and live streamed from the world-famous High Vibe TV studios. High Vibe TV delivers daily, weekly, and special programs focused on astrology, spirituality, history, community, and more. This is not your run-of-the-mill astrology and tarot. This is the future of spirituality, illuminating new ways the collective can step into the dawning of this exciting new dimension. The highest vibe is truth, and the truth always prevails. Download our awesome app on the Apple and Android stores so you don't miss our notifications, with special spiritual insights curated to the energy of the universe. Search for us on your TV with our exciting TV apps on Apple TV and Roku. Catch our vibe on your computer, where you can join in on the live chat with our amazing community and blog. Watch spirituality like you've never seen before. Download our apps or go to highvibe.tv. Subscribe now.